Hi, Maureen Muldoon, and we are on lesson 71 with A Course in Miracles, the workbook lessons. And thanks for joining me. Only God's plan for salvation will work is lesson 71. You may not realize that the ego has set up a plan for salvation in opposite to God's. It is this plan in which you believe. Since it is the opposite of God's, you also believe that to accept God's plan in place of the ego's is to be damned. This sounds preposterous, of course, yet after we've considered just what the ego's plan is, perhaps you'll realize that, however preposterous it may be, you do believe in it. The ego's plan for salvation centers around holding grievances. It maintains that if someone else spoke or acted differently, if some external circumstances or event were changed, you would be saved. Thus, the source of salvation is constantly perceived as outside of yourself. Each grievance you hold is a declaration and an assertion in which you believe that says, if this were different, I would be saved. The change of mind necessary for salvation is thus demanded of everyone and everything except yourself. The role assigned to your own mind in this plan, then, is simply to determine what, other than itself, must change if you are to be saved. According to this insane plan, any perceived source of salvation is acceptable, provided that it will not work. This ensures that the fruitless search will continue, for the illusion persists. Although this hope has always failed, there is still grounds for hope in other places and in other things. Another person will yet serve better. Another situation will yet offer success. So this lesson is basically telling us that we are so addicted to trying to change our mind by changing the chairs on the Titanic. Like we're gonna figure out the right structure to support our peace outside of ourselves. The right guy, the right pill, the right prayer, the right practitioner, the right position, the right identity will bring us peace. But the only thing that will bring us peace is God's plan, and the only place that God's plan lives is within us. And Dr. Reverend Beckwith used to say, when you go within, you never go without. And that's where we're going to find peace. It goes on to say, such is the plan for your salvation, and surely you can see how it is in strict accord with the ego's basic doctrine, seek and do not find. So isn't that funny that the ego has this game going with us that says seek and do not find, where the Holy Spirit is like, yoo-hoo, over here, all is well, go within. It says, for what could more surely guarantee that you will not find salvation than to channelize all your efforts in searching for it where it is not? God's plan for salvation works simply because by following His direction, you seek for salvation where it is. But if you are to succeed, as God promises you will, you must be willing to seek there only. Otherwise, your purpose is divided and you will attempt to follow two plans for salvation that are diametrically opposed in all ways. The result can only bring confusion, misery, and a deep sense of failure and despair. So sometimes we'll say, I don't understand why this plan isn't working. And it's really painful because the world isn't changing, and I'm also not getting divine peace from God, and that's because we're freaking riding the fence, man. And when you're riding the fence, it's very painful. So you got to just fall over on the side of God and let go of all of it, not just some of it, but all of it. Seek first God's love, and all else is given. And so you can't have two altars. You only have to have one altar, and don't put anything on it but God. And if you on your altar, if you're obsessing over that guy, those shoes, that job, that title, that number, you've created an alternative altar that surely will bring you pain. That's what I can say about that. Only from experience, my friend. So how can you escape all of this? Very simply, the idea for today is the answer. Only God's plan for salvation will work. There can be no real conflict about this because there's no possible alternative to God's plan that will save you. His is the only plan that is certain in its outcome. His is the only plan that must succeed. Let us practice recognizing this certainty today, and let us rejoice that there is an answer to what seems to be a conflict with no resolution possible. All things are possible to God. Salvation must be yours because His plan, because because of his plan, which cannot fail. It reminds me of a line that I love from the Gospel of Truth that says, there is a light within you that cannot fail. It says, actually, this is the perfect day, and within you dwells a light that cannot fail. So seek first that light, and you will be sustained and successful and in all that you do, because all that you do will be in alignment with God's plan. And God's plan is so good. Like it will delight you if you really let go of the steering wheel. It continues to say, begin the 2 longer practice periods for today by thinking about today's idea and realizing that it contains 2 parts, each making equal contribution to the whole. God's plan for your salvation will work, and other plans will not. Do not allow yourself to become depressed or angry at the second part. It is inherent in the first, and in the first is your full release from all your own insane attempts and mad proposals to free yourself. They have led to depression and anger, but God's plan will succeed. It will lead to release and to joy. Remember this. Let us devote the remaining of the extended practice period to asking God to reveal his plan to you, and ask him very specifically, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? And what would you have me say, and to whom? This is such a great lesson. I like that last paragraph that we read, begin the 2 practice, that the lesson contains 2 parts, that God's plan will work, and that no other plan will work. So it's an all or nothing scenario, and you're able to do it. If you weren't designed to fully immerse yourself in the love of God and to awaken to the fact that you are fully immersed in the love of God, then you wouldn't even be able to contemplate or have any desire to be listening to this recording anyhow. So you are like ready, you're on the cusp to step over and say, yeah, I am fully available to the plan of God, and I trust it implicitly and completely, and I'm going to commit myself to it with every breath that I have. You're pre-designed for that, and God's plan for you is impeccable happiness that uses all the things that delight you to support not just your good, but everyone's good. So it's no longer the plan of the ego that says, well, let me get this so I can have it and screw everyone else. But it says, let me be this. Let me extend this so I can have it and deliver it to everyone else. It's a great interpretation of the situation, and you're ready to deliver it, my friend. So thank you for listening to the lesson today. Thanks for being a part of my journey. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, pass it on to a friend. And most of all, fall over onto the side of God, and you will be supported and delighted, and you will see miracles. God bless. Namaste.